One day during Christmas, in the latter part, I think it's 1978, I'm in New York. They invite me to the Dakota to spend one of the Christmas days with them. And I go up to the Dakota, and I notice in the living room there's a vase with a single branch of a tree that's their Christmas decoration. And I sat down on the white couch in the white living room, and we're just making small talk. And then there's a knock on the door after the intercom, and he opens it, and Paul and Linda McCartney walk in. And they greet each other.
Had you met Paul?
Never. No, I had not met him up to that moment. And they come in, and John just said, "This is our friend Elliot." And I said, "Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Linda." And we sat and we talked for a while. It was, how should I say, it wasn't overly jubilant. It wasn't icy. It was just correct. And then they decided to go to a place called Elaine's, which was the cause celeb of restaurants in Manhattan at the time. And we got into Paul's car and we went up to Elaine's, the five of us, and they perused the menu, all of them. Didn't see anything they particularly liked, and Elaine's did have a reputation. I mean, you walk in and there's Woody Allen, there's Gore Vidal, and there's Tom Wolfe, and there's, all those people. But the food was miserable. And everybody knew it, and it was reviewed as being awful. And Elaine could be problematic as well. And Linda said, there's a great pizza place not far from here. Really thin-crusted pizza, Do you think you could get a pizza delivered here, and we could eat that? And she said it directly to me. Who else was she going to suggest it to? Yoko, would you drop the dime? And I knew I knew what a social faux pas was this. But I also knew that Elaine was not going to escort it. You must leave my restaurant. We had the pizza delivered through the back door. It was taken out of the cardboard box. It was put on beautiful Elaine's plates and brought out so a casual observer would think it's a dish that they hadn't seen yet. We had the pizza. It was pretty good. And then we took a car back to the Dakota. And then we went back into the white room. The sun was setting. And Linda and Yoko kind of went off on their own. Yoko always loved Linda McCartney. They got along great. And John and Paul kind of wandered over to this very, very tall window that looked down upon the west side of Manhattan. And the lights were coming on. You saw some of the Christmas decorations, etc. And me, the fifth wheel, was sitting on the couch, looking at the white carpeting and the branch in the vase. And I could pick up bits and pieces of conversation. Now, I've explained many times when people say, how can you report exact conversations you had with John and Yoko in your book and go on for paragraphs and paragraphs when you never had a diary, you never kept a journal, and obviously I never tape recorded them except when we were on the radio. I have an answer for all that, but in this case, because I could barely hear, they were far away, I can only catch spasms. And it was small talk, nothing of substance. And I do remember Paul asking John, "So you're making any music these days?" And John replying to Sir Paul, "No, my time is with me baby. That's what I do all the time. I don't make any music. What about you?" And Paul said, "I'm always making music. I make music every day of my life. I can't stop making music." And I thought to myself as I sat on the couch, what would have happened if John bit the bait and said, I got a couple of guitars in the other room.
Yeah.
Why don't I bring them out, just for the hell of it? And the two of them could have sat in the living room and maybe changed the face of contemporary music.
Yeah. One more time.
One more time. The McCartneys stayed for another hour or so and left. I stayed on with John and Yoko. And again, wondering why they had me there. So I asked them. And they said, no big deal. You were coming in for Christmas and they were around. So why, didn't you like them? They said, no, they seem like very, very nice people. How did that feel for you? He said, what do you mean, how did it feel to me? And I said, was there any tension? He said, it was dismissive. He said, you were with us all afternoon. Well, I mean, the two of them have known each other since they were 9 years old, practically. Yeah. So that, I've mentioned this story to a couple of the real Beatle historian people who believe that that was the last time that they were together. I can't attest to that. And it's my point of view. Sir Paul has not discussed that visit at all. It was anticlimactic. And I've run into Sir Paul on a few other occasions since. We both eat at a little restaurant out of the way, and we were just seated. I was with a date, and he was with his new wife. And on the way out, I just said, it's good to see you again. He asked how Yoko was doing. Always very civil and polite, and went to one of his concerts, and he greeted me after the concert, and we were going to do an interview, but we didn't. I got along with the others better, especially George. I went to all the Wilbury sessions, of course, that George had, because I brought Bob there.
Yeah.
And, George would never miss a Dylan concert, so I'd arrange for him to have a chair and a glass of water right off the side of the stage by a curtain. That's all he ever asked for.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because this incredible bond they had created so much great music. I saw a quote where Paul was saying, we sat down together to write a song, whatever it was, 100 and something times. And he said, in every instance, we always came out with something.
Always.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful thing.